Okay, amazing. So an orchestra has 4 types of instruments. Okay, those are the strings, like the guitars and so many others. These are the woodwinds, like the flute and others. Very special sound. Okay, then you have the brass. Okay, I think all of us, we know the brass band. Okay, when we are listening, singing the national anthem, okay, we have the brass band. Okay, of course, not every time when you sing the national anthem, the brass band is there. But of late, when we were watching the different proceedings in the installation of the new government, we have seen the brass band every now and then. I'm sure you have been witnessing that as well. Okay, and then we have the keys, what we call keys or keyboards or piano or whatever it is. These are 4 different types of instrument. But actually an instrument is not just 4 instruments. An orchestra is, a small orchestra, 40 to 50 different musicians, making music, in different ways. And the larger orchestra has got 80 to 100 different musicians, all doing their instruments. And I mean, this is something to watch. It's amazing. If we are watching an instrument, we're getting a bigger vision of how God builds his kingdom. Okay? Because, an orchestra is not an orchestra because we are so clever as human beings. We are just simply putting the people with different gifts together, allowing them to play the instruments. And, somebody who wrote those kind of music has been written by people who were God-fearing. Okay, many of these orchestras, they are playing Bach. Of the almost 8 billion people in the world, there are not 2 people who are exactly the same. There is no copy of anyone. So you can go throughout the world, you will never be yourself anymore because you're the only one. And that makes you important. Okay? Very well, on the market, if only few pieces in supply, then the value is high. But if there is only 1 piece of a kind, then the value is, going through the roof. And that's what you must understand. Your value is absolutely amazing. Even if other people don't value you, God values you. God has invested greatly in your life. He has given you gifts and talents and abilities which you may not even have recognized as yet. Okay? I speak about my own experience. I grew up and I knew a few things which I knew I was good at. But there were many things I didn't even know. I only came to learn them, along the way. Some of them I came only to recognize when I was an adult. Yet I was exploring a lot of things when I was a child. But I never came to realize that there are certain gifts and talents that God had given to me until I was grown up. And let me tell you, in your life, you need to do a little bit of mining. Okay? You may not be able to find emeralds because you don't have a piece of land in Zambia where you can dig for emeralds or for gold or for silver or whatever it is. But you have your own real estate. Okay? You have got on your own heart and soul. And that soul, God has filled with riches. So why don't you do some mining and find out what you can be able of. You are not going to find gold on the street. Have you ever walked down the street? I mean, imagine you walk out of church and then you find a gold bar on the street. How many of you have experienced that? If you find one, please at least give me half. But I can tell you it won't happen, okay? It won't happen. Unless somebody put it there for you just to find it. When we were children and we were having these funny celebrations, not the way God wants us to celebrate Easter, but the way the world celebrates Easter. There were certain gifts were hidden in certain places. For our parents, to put them into these places. They wanted us to find them, you understand? And of course, there were obvious places where we were looking